Hello from Le Marche, Italy, the beautiful region in central Italy where I have a house and I spend a lot of my time. And I'm on my way to get a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to share with you my second favorite trick for mixing tambourines. I will share my first, but that requires a little more technique and theory to pull that one off. But this one is really easy, really fast, and really useful. Only downside is it does require a specific piece of software. There might be some alternates, but I'm going to be demonstrating with a specific piece of software that does a very specific thing. So that's the downside. But before I jump into that, I wanted to let you know it is the beginning of April 2025, and there are still a couple spots left for the Cacapehan recording and songwriting retreat. By the way, fun fact, I am currently walking through the narrowest alley in Italy. Very exciting, of course. But yeah, we have a few spots left for the Cacapehan retreat. It's likely going to sell out, but we're not there yet. So we've got a few spots left. And if you want to join us, go to cacapehan.com and check it out or reach out with any kind of questions. It's in Capon Springs, West Virginia, which is just a little bit under 2 hours from Washington, D.C. So enough of that. Let's get into some tambourine mixing. All right, so let's dig into this tambourine track here. And I'm not going to play you the whole thing because the song's not released yet, but you'll still be able to get the point with this. So here's our tambourine track. It's decent. It's a cool performance. It's actually a fine sound, but the issue is this was a rock tune that had really bright bashy cymbals, some bright electric guitars, and I wanted to drive it with tambourine, but it's so bright up there. Like, check this out. There's like hardly anything above 6K on this. So this is just super bright, super edgy. And I really needed something that was kind of more thick. So of course I could go in and roll off high end if I wanted. But that just gets kind of soft sounding and we lose a lot of the drive. We could try and hunt around and boost up some mid-range. But none of those sounds I'm really digging. It either gets kind of honky or edgy or nasally. So not digging any of those options. If this was just a really straight quarter note thing, I could like trigger a lower tambourine to sort of blend in with it, but not with a part with a lot of dynamics as this. So that's not going to work. But there's another tool that I find myself using for this particular application. And this is Little Alterboy. I started using when I was working on a GWAR record, and I needed to create some sort of cyborg monster voices. So it ended up working great, but that's not what we're doing here. So this is a tool for pitch shifting. And I'm not really doing anything melodic with my voice here, but you can hear it. And there were all these aisles. And there were these bathing caps that you could buy that had these sort of... So this is a fun creative tool. I really never use this for serious pitch shifting. I've got other tools that do that a lot better. But it has this formant control. And that's what we're interested in. And what the formant control is going to do is it's going to change the character and the quality of the voice, not the pitch of the voice. So if I sing... a note and somebody else sings the exact same note, you can tell that we're different people by the formants and the character and quality of our voices. Rather than that. And speaking of which, side note, one cool thing to do sometimes is if you're building a vocal stack with just one singer, you can do little changes like this. And there were all these aisles, and there were these bathing caps that you could buy that had these sort of 4th of July plumes on them in red and yellow and blue.
and I wasn't tempted to buy one, but I was reminded of the fact that I'd been avoiding the beach. I was in this
Prematurely air-conditioned supermarket, and there were all these aisles, and there were these bathing caps that you could buy.
So it ends up sounding kind of like a different person. And again, for building up vocal stacks, doing a little bit of this can be a very cool trick. But what's that have to do with tambourine? Well, let's go back and look at our tambourine. So you hear how it actually started to change the quality and character of the tambourine. It actually doesn't sound like heavy digital processing. It sounds a little bit more like a tambourine with heavier metal jangles, or a darker, thicker, less resonant wood on there. But you can hear it still maintains the clarity and the transience that we need for the tambourine to do its job. And on the record I just finished, I actually did a pretty extreme thing because I really needed a tambourine that would sit under the bright cymbals. So I think I went about this far on it. So let's check this out. So very different. So in a few seconds, we've changed it to a different kind of tambourine. When you do extreme stuff, it can start to be a little bit unnatural. So that's one of the cool things about having this mix control. On the last production I mixed, I just left it all the way wet. But let's look at what happens if we start to bring in a little of the natural sound. So we've changed it into a pretty natural sounding, very different tambourine. But you'll also notice that we're losing some level here. So I'm actually going to bring some of that back up here with our drive control, which not only is going to bring up level, but it's actually going to make the character a little bit more aggressive. And this will also, again, offset some of that volume loss. So this gives us a ton of control for tambourine sculpting. And obviously you can try this on any other instrument. But the weird thing I stumbled across was how cool this actually works on being able to sculpt tambourines that fit really well into whatever kind of mix you're working on. So again, simple, almost a little dumb, but very useful trick. And I hope it was a little bit helpful. And as I mentioned before, if you want to come join us May 4 through 9 in Capon Springs, West Virginia for a 5-day all-inclusive retreat with a whole bunch of other recording and music nerds, go to kakapehan.com and check that out, or hit me up on social media or email, etc. All right, hope this helps a little bit, and yeah, keep making some cool music.